Hey guys, so I want to make another update video, just kind of a little bit of everything going on. Basically what's happened this week. See if I can get the camera shot a little better, but it's going to be a little bit more of a somber one. There's going to be a lot of shit I'm going to skip over, just because. But one of the few ones where you're going to see my receding hairline. It's fucking hot. You probably see it sweat and shit. I've been outside here tonight, kind of getting some stuff ready. Which I'll get to that. But so this week here, there's been good things, there's been bad things. But one thing's for sure, it's been probably one of the most emotional in so many different ways weeks I've had since I can remember, right? I mean, the majority of it's bad just because of something that's happened, but which I'll get to. But some more, it's just fuck, some more, But which again, I'm leaving out a lot of things just to kind of preface with that, so I won't be able to give you guys the full picture. But basically, just start everything out. Which again, I don't know if I mentioned it. Saturday night. This will go up Sunday. I've just been outside, like I say, working, feeding chickens, dogs, like that, and getting stuff together for tomorrow. But anyways, yeah. So I talked about how kind of got everything good to go with mini split, electric, water, all that. As far as the rent trailer. Well, this week, been going, painting, cleaning. If you see me looking over there, I'm just kind of keeping an eye on what I've got burning. But anyways, so all that's good, except for the kitchen faucet. Basically, it has this. I would like to never find it. I even went to a plumbing store that has like literally everything. They didn't fucking have it. Didn't even really. I walked in there and I said I need one of these because I don't know what the fuck it's called. I'm not a plumber. They're a plumbing store. They're like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, oh my God, bro, it's gonna be hard. Found a YouTube video. It's a Kohler faucet, quick connector, fucking plastic thing. It snaps in on one side and screws in on the other. Anyways, it was all gommed up and shit like that. And I tried cleaning. Then eventually I broke the clips because I'd take it on and off, trying to fool with it. I've been fucking with that. I found a replacement one. It was like $13. I mean, I can get a whole new faucet, yeah, it's cheap dank one, but the one's on is cheap dank. Anyways, for $30. But I'm hoping that this will fix it, because if it does, then all I gotta do, screw it in, snap it up, run the water through, it's good. Because water is barely coming out. I was talking about that. And this was the issue. But anyways, but the reason, even though it would make more sense to just spend another $15 fucking dollars, you know what I'm saying? It got the whole damn thing. But it's one of them sinks that's really fucking deep. Like, it's actually a nice sink that's in that trailer. I think I showed it before. Probably my donkey back there kicking around. Chickens rustling. But anyways, like I say, if I can just screw in, snap it up instead of having to get up there and tie it down, because you got about this much room to fucking work, and it's just hard. And also, I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing. So I don't want to get the plumber over there and spend another big high dollar, which I mean, he's a pretty good guy and everything like that, but goddamn it's high. But he's decent to fuck with. So, and he's about the only one that'll answer the phone. He answers the phone for me every fucking time. He even called me back while I was on vacation one time. I mean, that means a lot to me. Yeah, there may be some guys that's going to be just a tad cheaper around. Time is money, you know what I'm saying? So I try to stick with this guy. Plus, he knows a few things that's actually going on in the world and shit like that. It's kind of cool, but anyways, so in addition to that, like I said, my wife's been doing a lot of the cleaning, paint, and shit like that. But just basically been grinding out on that. And this week, because I mean, Monday we just kind of lingered around here, but I ended up just, I mean, Sunday family bullshit, whatever, right? Like from the last video. Then Monday I mowed, she weed eated some, and I did another thing or two, just like a little piddly shit that I've kind of been putting off that I need to do at the house, you know what I'm saying? And then, which wasn't really a rest day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, went over there, right? And y'all know I'm on food stamps and shit like that, and all that ordeal that went down where kind of fucked me up on that, you know what I'm saying? And so we ran out, and yeah, I mean, we got some money and stuff like that, but we just kind of been biding our time with it and digging out the canned shit, you know what I'm saying? I've been getting a few things like fruit and vegetables and stuff, especially for my daughter to have, kind of in the meantime to supplement. Finally got it on Friday, yesterday, which I'll go to. But anyways, yeah, Tuesday, just clean, basically a clean day. No painting really. Wednesday, and then like I say, we ate out that day because we're in town and shit like that, working from breakfast to supper time. Because we kind of eat a late breakfast, what we do, But we usually do like a breakfast closer to lunchtime, and then we do a supper time, and then we do like a snack, like a little bit before my daughter goes to bed. Which don't know if that's optimal. That's just how we roll. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, so we ate out that day, and which that day is the day the guy that put in that meat split came back over because the outside unit wasn't kicking on. All that it was one of the wires was put on there wrong, which no big. You just had to unscrew it, put it on. It's good to go. It's working fucking great. 12,000 BTU coolant, and it's in the living room, kitchen, dining room area of the trailer, and it's blowing like this, not long ways. And anyways, it's kind of in the middle of that whole ordeal there. And honestly, if they had put like a box fan or something to kick it down the hallway into the bedrooms and bathroom, or just put a box fan just to kind of blow on them and shit a little bit, in the furthest bedroom, which is at the opposite end of the trailer, be fine. I mean, that's what we would do. You know what I'm saying? Like, so don't worry about that square footage bullshit that they're always trying to tell you about the mini splits. You ain't got to worry about that. $400 fucking dollars, and it keep you good. And I mean, like I say, it's been hot. You know what I'm saying? Especially today. We went over there and worked a little bit today, but I'll get to that. Now Wednesday, here's where shit started getting a little wild. Because I haven't slept hardly. I've been running on like just a few hours of sleep. My wife has too. Me even less because I stay up. She's gone to bed now, I usually stay up for a few more hours, just kind of taking care of some shit, doing stuff, like burning this stuff and getting everything loaded up and whatnot, and feeding the animals and stuff. But Wednesday, after we got done working a little bit, of course, my dad had called me a couple times, stuff like that, and I just didn't answer because it's busy, usually I just get back with him whenever I can. So we got done eating and stuff, we usually get something to eat. We ate Dairy Queen that day, and we was sitting over there in the parking lot and stuff, just kind of eating a little bit. And after I got done, I usually step out and get a cigarette when my daughter finishes up and stuff, And anyways, I was like, well, let me just go ahead and call my dad back, see what he's wanting. Which usually it ain't nothing. Like, he called me like 7 times one day. He's like, hey, I got a couple pallets over here. You want, like, the pallet wood? It's like, if you ain't got nothing else, pallet wood's cool and all, but goddamn, you about busted trying to prize it out. You know what I'm saying? The best thing you can do with it really is cut it. But even then, the wood's not good, They're not really worth salvaging. Unless you just ain't got nothing else, you know what I'm saying? For like little piddly projects or some shit. And I ain't gonna say his name, but I called him back. I was like, hey, what's going on? And he said, you remember your buddy? And he said his name, but he said like the short version of it. I was like, who? Who you talking about? He said the full name. And I was like, yeah. And my heart just kind of sunk at that moment. Like, I didn't know what it was, but said he died, you know? And, 28 years old and shit like that's what we are. I lost my first friend, And sorry guys, but it's just hard to even talk about, And the reality didn't really set in until today, kind of like, and I'll get to that, but like I was pretty emotional there in the moment, and I called another one of my like ex buddies, I guess, and kind of told him, because what it was, used to have a buddy group, we'd all hang out, you know what I'm saying, right around night and shit and stuff. See, this friend here, again, I'm gonna leave out so many fucking details, but like he didn't talk to anybody in school or nothing like that, you know what I'm saying, the one that passed away. And I'm not trying to glorify me or anything like that, but I really put in the effort to make friends with him. Because every now and again, you wear like a Monomosh shirt and stuff like that. And I was like, oh shit, he's got long hair and stuff. And I was like, oh shit, he likes metal too, because where I'm from, it's like, fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like, likes anything. Nobody likes anime. I mean, I guess they kind of do now and shit like that, but like metal and stuff, But, got to talking to him, and I was his first friend. And kind of introduced him to like some of the other buddies and whatnot, air sign. So I always try to make buddies with people and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? But we did have a falling out, and this is going to be the topic of the video. About 6 years ago. And it was just a lot of circumstantial things. Again, I'm not going to get into it. But for the past several months, probably even like a year maybe or something, it's just been really itching me to be like, to reach out to him and kind of rekindle everything. Because I've had some friends, I've talked about on the channel and stuff here. They've fucked me over in ways that I didn't like, and then things that happened. And this life goes on, you finally see them after so long, and it's just like, working hard, hardly working, how's the weather, type shit. And it's just like, bro, I don't even give a fuck, you know what I'm saying? NPCs, right? And what's fucked up, see, I don't ever watch news or look at anything, you know what I'm saying, like that. And apparently it took them a little while, because it happened last Saturday. And it took them a while to find the next of kin, so they didn't release it or anything until like Tuesday. And then I found out Wednesday. Of course, some of the family figured it out like on Monday and stuff, come to find out. But it took them like 2 days to locate the family, And because he moved away. I mean, just a few towns away, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't like super far or anything, but and I asked my parents, when they called me, and was like, well, what he died of and stuff. They said, I don't know. And that's, kind of what I thought. And I was like, is it a motorcycle wreck or he killed himself? You know what I'm saying? And I went and looked it up there real quick. And sure enough, it's a fucking motorcycle wreck. Some girl pulled out in front of him and shit. He's coming home at night. She found this out later, which I'll get to. But motherfucker died. And the reason I kept putting off, reaching out to him and shit is because I've been just so fucking busy with all this bullshit in life. And it's like, I was like, whenever I get all this shit wrapped up, hopefully towards the end of the year or something, I'll reach out to him and we'll try to rekindle. Because he's like the one buddy that was like legit that I wanted to take with me kind of in my next step of life. You know what I'm saying? The other one's just whatever type shit. It's like they're just NPCs. And talking about buddies, they're like old buddies. Like I don't really have any like legitimate friends now. I got a couple that kind of linger on because they still like hanging out and stuff like that, like once every few months or something. But actually one, and I only see about once a year. But anyways, like the point is though is same thing happened kind of with my nanny. Again, I've talked about before, not blood related, yada 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 type shit. But took care of me whenever I was a kid and growing up. I've got to go check and see what's making this noise. Something was burning, but I'll be right back. Maybe it'll be cleaned up a little bit. All right, I'm back. But anyways, with my nanny, I kept waiting because I was like, I wanted to close on this house that we're living at now because, again, her family had lived in it before, and it's like auctions later. I've talked about before. You know, is I wanted to tell her like, hey, I got this house. You know what I'm saying? Because my idea was, even whenever I was younger, it's like I always wanted to live in this house. And I just assumed that my name's kind of in a bad situation. She had a sister that was really controlling and all this bullshit. And it's crazy old people stuff, right? But I just assumed that her sister's a decent amount older than her. She's still living. She's like 90 something. It's fucking crazy. My name's in her 70s. And I wanted to tell her, like, hey, I got this house and everything. And I just assumed her sister was going to pass away literally any day. And it's crazy that's been like X amount of years later and still hanging on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and whenever she passed away, it's like my nanny could move out here with us and then we take care of her and she gets to live out the rest of her days where she grew up, you know? And that didn't happen. She passed away before. I mean, she basically killed herself because she stopped taking all of her medication. She's diabetic and just stopped fucking with that, eating whatever. She hated life. She had a little dog she loved and everything like that. And yeah, he's getting old and sick, but like her sister convinced him to put her down. Didn't really have to yet, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah, I've been disconnected from her for a little bit because for like a year I've been living, just grinding out life and everything, trying to save up, make these bands. Like I'm just busy, right? I'm just always working so fucking hard to try to get somewhere, and I end up neglecting people in my fucking life. And the week that I was going to be closing on this motherfucker, and it's like I was going to call her and tell her, is that the week she fucking died, you know? And this kind of happened again, you know, in a similar circumstance. It's like with my homie. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, she was older and everything like that, but I mean, she's just kind of chilling, you know? And it's like, my buddy is fucking 28 like me. You know what I'm saying? Just a freak accident, shit like that. You know? But if there's any, and this is what I just really want to say, is if there's anybody that you guys are holding on for some fucking reason or waiting around for whatever the fuck reason to reach out to them, to rekindle stuff or to tell them good news or just to fucking talk to them, just please fucking do it. Don't let it be like me and like, there's only a few things in life that I really, really, really regret. And less than 5. And these are 2 of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are burdens I think about all the time. I mean, this is just another one. It's like most recent example. And I'm not trying to make it about me because, you know, but you always think about what if. Like, what if he'd not been there in that exact fucking moment? It was on a Saturday. What if on that Saturday we were hanging out or some shit? Like, and then it just didn't fucking happen. It's crazy, you know? But just reach out to somebody if you guys are holding on for whatever fuck reason because you're waiting to be at whatever point in life and yada yada yada. It's like, sorry to be nasty, but just fucking do it. So anyways, like I say, just a lot of disbelief and stuff like that. Like I say, 6 years. And at one point, this motherfucker was my best friend, you know? And we did a lot of shit together. And like I say, it just didn't seem real. You know, my wife's been grieving and stuff too, because like I say, she's been along this whole time and stuff too, you know. But he was like the one person that would like travel, right? Like I won't tell too many stories, but like you text him like fucking middle of the night, it's like, hey, you want to go drinking and fucking around? He's like, hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, but anyways, so moving on to Thursday, and it's so uncanny because we even talked about him a little bit before, and you know I've been watching Boruto. I've talked about that before and stuff. He reminds me of Mitsuki to Boruto. You know, what I'm saying, me and him. It's like, and then didn't even plan it out like this, but because we'd eat out Tuesday and Wednesday, well Thursday went and done some more work and stuff like that. Thursday ate a motherfucking Subway. That was always his preferred place. You know what I'm saying, in town. It's crazy how shit works like that. And so yeah, Thursday nothing really, just other than working on the trailer, getting it ready for pictures to post to be able to get somebody in it. Right, then moving on to Friday, food stamps finally came in. Finally got to get some groceries. You know, yeah, just went there, and some good things kind of happened here on Friday. So I'm going to talk about this, but because you know, bring up the mood a little bit. I was wearing my Burzum shirt, Walmart, got a compliment on it from a girl. Looked like she's young, stuff like that. But it's like third time I've got a compliment on my Burzum shirt, and this specific one's a philosophy. And you know, I'll talk about those other stories and stuff like that on here. So that was crazy, right? Kind of alternative-ish, right? Looking, not, didn't necessarily look like they would know or be aware. But then again, it's like Burzum's kind of fucking mainstream anymore, I guess, right, with the internet. But anyways, or TikTok stuff, I should say. Then seen looked to be like a lesbian couple, and one of them was wearing like this like kind of body harness thing and like some kind of like heels and black pants and stuff like that. It's pretty fucking cool. Like, that was definitely the bottom of the relationship, if not using correct terms here. Sorry, but it's cool though. It's cool though. And this is like the local Walmart. You're not supposed to see anybody different, right? Anytime, because it's on Friday that we went. We usually go at Tuesday on a fucking noon. It's 100% boomers. You know what I'm saying? It just works out like that we go on Tuesdays. But anyways, then right before we was getting ready to leave, well, I was just checking out in the clothing section stuff a little bit. You know, they have a lot of stuff on clearance right now. And seen somebody kind of decked out in like a full golf fit, right? There's another girl and stuff like that. Didn't know how old she was. Got talking. She's 22 or 3 or some shit, right? Whatever, I don't know. But anyways, my wife went up and complimented her. Of course, you know, me and her, we always dress like kind of gothy and stuff whenever we go out, you know. Of course, I always have more the metalhead style and stuff, right? Y'all always just see me wearing my fake ass work clothes, but whatever. Anyways, so she complimented her and stuff, and then they got talking, they exchanged some contact information. They've been texting a little bit, so it's cool. You know, my wife may have found a friend, because my wife has 0 friends. I have kind of 1.5, I guess you could say, right? Like, as things stand now. But, so hopefully friendship will kind of blossom out of this, you know, for her and stuff like that. Because I know my wife really needs like a lady that can be a friend to her, you know, because my wife's just constantly been fucked over by like everybody that's supposed to be a woman and nice to her in her life that's not like her mom, you know what I'm saying? Like, just friendship stuff, falling out, fucking bullshit, life, them just fucking off on her, right? Like, because my wife's the type of person who would like do anything for a homie, and just nobody's been like friends with her, you know what I'm saying? Like, She even had it like planned out for a bachelorette party and stuff. And nobody fucking showed up. So I took off work that day and took her to Arby's. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that fucking sucks. Like before we got married, you know. And it's crazy. But so that's just shit, you know, too. So hopefully that works out good, you know. And start kind of prepping for everything, you know. The funeral was Saturday today. And anyways, like I say, it just didn't really seem real. Like my wife had been kind of, she talked about how she was able to get closure on everything, you know, with the death today. But for me, it just started. That's kind of the way that I was. Because, like, in the meantime, I've had to be working hard and fucking around with all this other bullshit and these other people and being a dad. Like, I've had to just kind of nut up and go about life, you know? And today, though, we was, like, the first people there at the viewing. And it was rough, you know, because I was carrying my little girl, but I kind of held her so she didn't see or anything. Was able to have an open casket. It's just always crazy because they look like a wax figure, you know what I'm saying? But they buried him in like his flannel shirt that he'd always had, you know what I'm saying, on and shit like that. And whenever he's in there, you know, we kind of walked back and sat for a minute, you know, in the back row and talked to her old English teacher, which he was chill and stuff. Was I kind of forgot about him and everything like that, you know, talked to him for a minute. Because me and this friend had that class together and we sit next to each other and stuff, and we would, you know, be chill with the teacher and stuff, right? Like say we were like the long hair dressed in black, like different looking motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? And he's young, he's pretty chill, you know. And here came a buddy, you know, I talked about the one just see once in a blue moon, he hollers at me, "Hey man, what's going on?" "Not much, man. You all pretty good?" "Yeah, but," and you know, just we've had that for like years. It's been our only conversations, you know. Bug about one in my ear. But anyways, he showed up, you know, he was talking about, which I got to get back to this on Wednesday, you know, I called him and he's like, "Yeah, I already knew about it," you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. And he's talking about a couple of other buddies and stuff, thought about squadding up and going and stuff together. And it's like, nobody thought to call me, you know what I'm saying? I was the one that was closest with him out of this buddy group, right? And I heard from my fucking parents who just probably seen it on fucking Facebook news or some shit, right? Like, I knew it a day later than everybody else, like, and you guys are already making plans to fucking go. One of them wasn't even his friend, he was just somebody that was there. You know what I'm saying? Funny thing is, though, today, none of the other ones showed up, it was just him. They ended up fucking off on it. And, of course, whatever, talked to him a little bit, and he said he's seen him. You know, the one that passed away there about a month and a half ago. And he was wanting him, you know, this other guy to kind of get everybody back together, you know what I'm saying, like for a hangout sesh or something while he was down, you know, in town and stuff. And I was just like, don't get me wrong, it's my fault too for not reaching out sooner. At the same point, like, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you call me and tell me, you know? I feel so fucking betrayed, you know? I mean, there's lots of different faults. I'm not trying to put anything on everything else, but it's just like, it's all so circumstantial, though. It's like, it's been fucking years. You think I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? The falling out was kind of dumb anyways, right? Like, it wasn't like something plumb fucking crazy. And it's just like, even if you couldn't hang out or these other people couldn't hang out or whatever, like, can you at least just like text a few people or call a few people and be like, hey, you know, just want to put something together, see what we can do. It's like, or at least me, he knows that, you know, me and him was best friends at one point. You know, I felt so fucking betrayed by that. And, you know, he's just talking about how he's just kind of weird around him and shit like that, too. And it's like, what the fuck, you know? Well, again, I'm going to get into something else, too. It's kind of a whole fucked up thing I'm not going to talk about, but he'd been seeing this girl that, you know, we kind of knew because, I mean, honestly, she's fucking dated about every one of the buddies and stuff like that back in the day. But anyways, he'd been seeing her off and on, you know, for the last couple years or whatever. The one that passed away. And my wife went up and talked to her, you know, because we've all kind of hung out a time or two, you know, just whatever stuff. But just kind of filled in some of the gaps. He was coming home from a date with her, you know, that night. And she kept texting, you know, and stuff apparently, and never could get a hold. She even called the hospital because she'd heard something about it, but nothing was released yet, you know, and then they didn't know nothing about it, you know, whatever. Like, nobody's giving any information or something like that. So it's like, that's what it was somebody just didn't see him on his motorcycle and just pulled out, like, in front of him and hit him on the ass, you know, and apparently it wasn't a whole lot of blood or anything like that because, I mean, he wore a helmet and stuff. He didn't wear, like, the full-on gear and shit, you know. It's like, thinking it's like ribs just shattered and pierced the heart or some shit, you know. It's like, it's some 18-year-old girl that was a fucking prep, you know, people we rebelled against and shit like that. 2026 new car she had and everything like that. And, you know, killed a motherfucker. Like, that's crazy. I mean, obviously, y'all hear that? I was hearing that earlier, thought it was cool, but killed a motherfucker. I mean, didn't mean to, you know, but it happened. So then they talked for a little while, you know, and I took baby back out to the parking lot and stuff and kind of chilled her and talked about one guy. That's when he was kind of telling me that information about, like, you know, working hard, hardly working, you know, what I've been into, just bullshit that I'm having to fucking, like, jihad with whenever I'm not fucking feeling it, you know. But then that's whenever he dropped that lore about seeing him a little while back, you know, and wanted to get everybody together and didn't mention it, me or anything, you know. And it's like, took me a little bit to process it, like, what the fuck, you know. But whenever they was showing the pictures and stuff, you know, of him up on the TV like they do, whenever we was sitting in there, there was one that they had, it was me and him, whenever we was sitting by the fucking lake. I remember we was sitting on a fucking piece of driftwood and took a selfie together. I was wearing my Misfits shirt I had a dip in at the time. It was fucking grizzly wintergreen. I even remember that shit. And out of all the pictures they showed, the only one where he had a friend in it was that one of me and him. So we was down there at the lake. There's a couple other people, you know, and they were swimming. I wasn't gonna swim. I can't swim. But he wanted to hang out and chill out there with me, you know, because I didn't swim. That about took me out, y'all. But like I say, I'm not good dealing with stuff, you know. It's like I'm having to be a dad, having to be a husband, having to work on all this shit, get shit going on and stuff at the same time, having to deal with this, you know. And it's like, because this video is probably going to be uploaded a little bit later in the day. It's getting late, you know. I ain't going to have time for it to fucking process and all that bullshit tonight. But anyways, then after I just went to the view, and I mean, I couldn't sit through a funeral with my daughter and, like I say, being all crazy and shit. And we don't have anybody that can watch her, you know. So we got to take care of her all ourselves and stuff. But the one thing, though, is that my wife did exchange some contact information with his kind of on again, off again girlfriend, whatever you want to call her, you know. And you know, I was talking with her tonight a little bit ago before she went to bed. I was like, you know, if that had been me up there, I know for a fucking fact that he would have been the first one there to fucking viewing like I was for him. And that him and his girlfriend would have came up to Brianna because his girlfriend's sitting there all alone. His rest of the family don't fuck with her, you know, or anybody else. And it's like, they would have came up to her and talked with her, made her feel better and stuff, you know, if that had been me up there. And that's what we're going to try to do. Me and my wife be there for, you know, his woman stuff, and like how they would have done for her, you know. And I feel like at least offer her some condolences and somebody to talk to and stuff like that kind of throughout it, because she ain't really got anybody else. And try to support him, you know, onward and stuff. There's a few things I've got to do now that it, like I say, it just didn't seem real until I went to the funeral day. Now it's like, there's a few things I got to do. I got to go to where it happened. I just got to see the area, you know. He's getting buried in like this private cemetery, his parents, and his dad's crazy, like shell shocked and stuff like that from war and stuff like that. So you can't really be around him. He's all fucked up, you know what I'm saying? He's crazy. But anyways, so I can't go to his grave, I don't think, you know, for any time soon. But I need to go where the site, where it happened. I need to brush up on my necromancy skills. I'm not even fucking joking. I've talked about witchcraft and magic and shit on here. I mean, that's what I fuck with, guys. And I gotta get a remembrance tattoo, you know? And those are the things I need to accomplish before I feel like I can have some closure, you know? So, that's where I'm at. My wife's kind of been talking to her and stuff like that, you know? But anyways, the rest of the day, just kind of went back to trailer and worked a little bit. And tomorrow, I'm going to go pick up some wood paneling shit from this one guy I used to work with his place. I got to meet him at 3. Then, before that, though, I'm going to go try to do a few things at trailer. And Monday should have it good enough for pictures, and try to get some gravel hauled in, some sink and stuff like that fixed, kind of coming on, you know, and stuff. But anyways, though, guys, sorry it's been a rough one. I'm just trying to be honest on these, just talk about my week and stuff, you know. If there's somebody you guys have been holding out to reach out to, just fucking do it. No matter if you're in the right place at the right time, and you gotta think that stars gotta align, all this bullshit. That's why that chance never fucking comes. I mean, 28, bro. You know, it's kind of like, don't get me wrong, I love my mom and dad. Been having health issues for a long motherfucking time. I got a call tomorrow about her. It's kind of like, well, you know, I mean, it sucks, it's sad, I'm gonna cry, yeah, but it's been coming on, you know. My parents have been old my whole life that I've been, you know what I'm saying, pretty much. And it's like, you just expect, like, right, they're 70. but 28-year-old motherfucker. And he was the healthiest one out of Olive, too. Actually, had some fucking muscles and ate decent. Like Subway was his fucking favorite place. I know they're not great food, but from where we're from, and 90% of the population is just big, fat, sloppy motherfuckers and stuff like that, he's doing good. You know what I'm saying? Like, definitely, by all means, would have lived past that, you know? But, and I'm being honest whenever I say he's one I wanted to have in my life today. But intentions are one thing and actions are another thing. You set your intentions and then you put your this witchcraft and everything, but you got to do the actions to make the shit happen. And I should have known this. It's part of practice, part of everything. Excuse me. Sorry, but I didn't, you know. Anyways, guys, hopefully next week, or if I make any little videos in between, whatever, it's supposed to rain all week, so we'll see what we can fucking get done. Most shit I gotta do is on the inside, but I still have to do some outside shit, but we'll see what happens this week. But anyways, guys, if you watched this all the way through, appreciate it, and hope you have a good